Good afternoon, Rotarians, friends, and guests. My name is Carl Vincent, and I am proud to be president of one of the largest Rotary clubs in the world, the Rotary Club of Tulsa, Club 2500, District 6110. We welcome all of you here today for our 19th annual Above and Beyond Awards, where we recognize the public service heroes who protect our community with distinction and honor, especially those who have gone above and beyond the call of duty. The Above and Beyond Awards recognize a firefighter and a police officer nominated by their peers for outstanding acts of character, commitment, and compassion. We'll begin the awards ceremony with the invocation by Tulsa Police and Fire Chaplaincy Corps Executive Director and 2022 George B. Hamilton Award recipient, Danny Lynchard. Then, members of the Tulsa Fire and Police Department Color Guards will present the colors. After that, the chaplain will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by Police Detective Reggie Warren performing our national anthem. If you haven't already done so, please silence your cell phones. Now we'll have the invocation.
Thank you so much for always allowing me to be a part of this. We kind of reflect who you are in our chaplaincy corps. We want to serve selflessly, and we want to serve the whole community. And we just got a rabbi last year, and we were making a challenge coin, and they were debating. I got all these Protestants on one side and one rabbi. Y'all with me? On the challenge coin, one of the chaplains on the Protestant side said, "Let's put Jesus saves." And our rabbi said, and on the back put, "and Moses invests." So, our Heavenly Father, I stand before a group who represent more than 1.2 million Rotarians worldwide. A group that has learned the key to your kingdom is service above self. By stepping into such commitment, we learn to walk in your shoes. And your scripture teaches how beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news, and this they have done. In their effort to shine a light on the actions of those who have set aside self in order to enter your service for humanity, we ask that you not only keep our activities aligned with your will, but our hearts aligned with your love. For it's in your name we pray. Amen. Honor guard. Will you join me? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight on the ramparts hearts we wash were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Ready? Post. Present. Home. Order. Home. Ready? Face. Ready? Set.
Thank you, Danny and Reggie. You may be seated. Reggie, every time you sing for us, it gives me goosebumps, man. I appreciate you more than you know. I now have the privilege of introducing our Rotarian of the Day. Our Rotarian of the Day today is the co-chair of the Above and Beyond Awards event, Tom Peralt. He's a property and casualty insurance and bonding agent and vice president at Rich and Cartmill here in Tulsa, specializing in commercial construction and surety bonds. Tom joined our Rotary Club in 2012. He's a Paul Harris Fellow and a Club Foundation Fellow. He has served on the Above and Beyond Awards Committee for several years and chaired the event last year. Please join me in welcoming my friend and Rotarian of the Day, Tom Peralt.
Apologize. Good afternoon. On behalf of the Rotary Club of Tulsa, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Above and Beyond Awards, the 19th, in fact. Every year, the recipients of these distinguished awards amaze us, not only because of their courage and dedication to serving and protecting us, but also how they repeatedly have gone above and beyond their call of duty to help others. These individuals have unselfishly helped so many people because of their commitment to serve. We honor their work they do to make our communities and our world a better place for all. They are perfect examples of the Rotary International motto, service above self. Before we get started, we'd like to express our gratitude to the individuals and organizations that made these awards possible. Please hold your applause when I call your name, but do please stand. We sincerely appreciate our champion sponsor, once again, Max Electric Supply, represented by its president and owner, Jack McGlumphy. Jack, please stand. We'd like to thank our three leader sponsors, Aon, represented by its corporate citizenship director, Rotarian Stephanie Regan. Stephanie, please stand. The Moran Family Foundation, represented by Joe Moran. Joe, if you would please stand. And then Joe also is here representing the Rotary Club of Tulsa Foundation as president of the Board of Trustees. Thank you, Joe, for being here. We're also grateful to our sponsors, BKL, represented by Rotarian Jenny Hammock. Jenny, please stand. And Rotarian John Bumgardner Jr. John, please stand if you're able. Rotarian Tom Luckett could not be here, but we sincerely appreciate his sponsorship for this event. Manford Funeral Homes, represented by Bill Glenn. Bill, if you would, please stand. And John O'Connor, represented by Rotarian John O'Connor. John, if you would, please stand. We are appreciative of all of our financial supporters and friends who are displayed on the screens and also listed on the back of our program. I did miss one, David Smith with Elite Electric, would you please stand? Thank you. Would you give them a round of applause, please? Thank you guys very much. If you'd also like to contribute to the Above and Beyond Awards and become a sponsor for next year's event, please donate online or contact the Rotary Club of Tulsa. These awards would not be possible without the talented efforts of my co-chair, Brooke Hamilton, and our former head in charge, Rob Berry. Rob, thank you for all you did. We appreciate it. To our entire Above and Beyond committee, thank you. They did an excellent job, and I want to give them a round of applause as well. So thank you. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our Master of Ceremonies. She is celebrating 34 years at KOTV News on 6. She anchors a 5, 6, and 10 o'clock news with Craig Day. She has been the station's crime reporter for 34 years. Hard to believe. She's not that old. I could continue, but she humbly asked me to keep her introduction short. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming for the 13th time as Master of Ceremonies, Lori Fulbright.
Thank you guys so much. I am excited to be here. Every year I love this event, you know that, and man, have you picked some good ones today. I know I say this every year, but it's true every year. You guys are going to be amazed when you hear these stories about these honorees today. So when I was interviewing Aubrey, she tells me that her focus was microbiology molecular genetics, and yet she's a cop. Now figure that one. Every member of her family is a dentist, so can you imagine their reaction when she said she was going to be a cop? And then shortly after getting on the force, she was in a devastating car wreck. And while she was healing from that and on light duty, she worked in the sex offender registration office. Whew. But it was during that time that she realized that she would like to work with those victims of those sex offenders. And that's when she applied for and got to be in the unit, which is called SPIDER. It's a long name, but it's basically they go after predators online. And so they focus a lot on child pornography, which is what we used to call it. We don't call it that anymore. We call it child sexual abuse material, or CSAM, because that really describes better the material that they are looking at, because they are catching people who are sharing it, celebrating it. It is a hard, hard job. So she is such an inspiration. You are going to love her story. And then Frankie, I loved interviewing Frankie as well, because he has a family member who's a first responder. So he started volunteering when he was a senior in high school. And you know, most of these kids are 30 and don't know what they want to do. But he knew when he was a senior in high school and went through the EMT training and then became a firefighter and loves it to this day. You can just tell he's so exuberant when he talks about the fire department and his work. But he also does so much in his community. And the one thing I loved about both these interviews, you guys, is they both said they were brought up to know and believe that you are here to serve others. And that is so true of both of them, and I just can't wait for you to meet them. So we'll move on. But Mayor Monroe Nichols, as you know, would normally be joining us today, but he can't today. He became an honorary member of Rotary last year. So in his stead, I'm going to ask you to welcome the Commissioner of Public Safety, Laurel Roberts. She oversees key public safety functions, including coordination with police, fire, municipal courts, animal services, emergency management for the city. So please welcome our Commissioner, Laurel Roberts.
Thank you, Lori. Good morning. Thank you to everybody for being here today. It is a privilege for me to be here today and join the Rotary Club of Tulsa in recognizing some truly exceptional public servants. And this is really a special event for me because it's not very often that I get both police and fire together in the same room to appreciate their hard work that they do. It's an absolute honor for me to serve as the Public Safety Commissioner that leads two top-tier, really incredible departments. I am so thankful for the men and the women that show up every day to answer the call. And for that, I want to tell each and every one of you, thank you for what you do. I'm also extremely grateful for the leadership of the departments under Chief Larson, Chief Baker, and all that they do to lead our city's finest and bravest. Now, this event is called the Above and Beyond Awards, and after spending 29 years with the Tulsa Police Department, I can tell you that that title does not come lightly. Right here in Tulsa, We are fortunate to have dedicated first responders that hold a very high standard. They do it both on and off duty. And every day, our police officers, our firefighters, they give an exceptional effort. But today, we're going to honor two individuals that exceed the exceptional effort. They demonstrated what it truly means to go above and beyond. And public servants, they don't do this work for recognition. They do it out of a deep-rooted commitment for their community. And that's what makes today so important. So important because it gives us a chance to pause and say, we see you, we value you, and we are truly grateful for everything that you do. So to our award recipients, your service, your character, and the standard that you have set for public safety, I cannot say enough thank yous for that. You represent the very best of what Tulsa has to offer. And regardless of the uniform that you wear, whether it be red, whether it be blue, this community is stronger because of what you do. I want to say thank you really quickly to the families, the friends that support their loved ones, because none of this work is possible without your encouragement or your backing. So in closing, I want to thank the Rotary Club of Tulsa, who continues this event 19 years strong, for shining the light on the individuals who protect and who serve every day, and they do it without wanting to be recognized. It's been an absolute privilege to celebrate with everybody here today. Mayor Nichols sends his deepest condolences for not being here. He took a few hours out of his day to go play Gavin's dad and support him in a state baseball tournament, but I believe he does have something special to share with the crowd later. Thank you again. Congratulations to our honorees. And I'll turn it back to you, Lori.
Thank you, Commissioner. Before we begin our actual program, there are some special guests that I would like to introduce. As I call your name, please stand, but please also hold your applause to the end because we'll be here till next Tuesday. Okay. From the Mayor's Office, Chief of Staff Dana Walton. From the City of Tulsa Councilors, Anthony Archie, District 2, Jackie Dutton, District 3, Karen Gilbert, representing District 5 and Crime Stoppers, Christian Bengal, District 6, Lori Dector-Wright, District 7, Rotary Club of Tulsa past President Phil Lakin, District 8, and Carol Bush, District 9, as well as Tulsa County Commissioners Dan Salee in District 1, Kathy Dunkersley in District 3, and our District Attorney Steve Koonsweiler, Northern District of Oklahoma U.S. Attorney Clint Johnson, Northern District of Oklahoma Assistant U.S. Attorney Ashley Roberts, Northern District of Oklahoma Assistant U.S. Attorney Chris Nasser, Tulsa U.S. Secret Service Resident Agent in Charge Doug Farrell. Please welcome also our city and county representatives and special guests from the police, the Tulsa Fire Department, Fire Chief Michael Baker, Deputy Chief Brent Goins, Deputy Chief Julie Lynn, Captain Raymond Beard, Captain Bill Esmeyer, Lieutenant Andrew Little of the Public Information Office. And please welcome all of these folks and yet there's more. The Tulsa Police Department, Chief Dennis Larson, please stand. Deputy Chief Mark Wolmerhauser, Deputy Chief Jonathan Brooks, Deputy Chief Eric Daglish, Major Jillian Fippen, Major Luther Brashears, Captain Kimberly Lee, Captain Richard Muhlenberg, and Captain Mike Ward. Now, let it rip. Let's give them all a warm welcome. If we miss anybody, forgive us. It was not on purpose. We were trying to keep track of everyone we needed to mention. All of the former Above and Beyond Award recipients are listed in your program and on the screens. We are very honored that some of our past honorees are here today. Will you please stand and be recognized as well? There we go. Now I would like to introduce the co-chair of this year's Above and Beyond Awards, Brooke Hamilton. Brooke is the CEO of Nameplates Inc., a 3-generation woman-owned business specializing in high-quality nameplates and decals. She has earned multiple industry awards, including the Women in Manufacturing Step Ahead Award and the Tulsa Business and Legal News Women of Distinction Award. And in 2016, the MPI was recognized as the Tulsa Regional Chamber Manufacturer of the Year. Please welcome Rotarian Brooke Hamilton.
Okay, we are going to go ahead and run a video.
Hey everybody, it's Tulsa Mayor Monroe Nichols. I'm so sorry I'm not there this afternoon for the Above and Beyond Awards. It may not look like it right now, but I'm actually at a playoff baseball game for my son who's a senior at Bishop Kelly. But you're in great hands with our wonderful Commissioner of Public Safety, Laurel Roberts. I am here to say congratulations to 2 amazing public servants. Patrick Young, a 22-year veteran of the Tulsa Fire Department, who has spent his time in the department mentoring young firefighters, raising money for families facing financial hardships, investing his time with individuals with physical and cognitive and emotional challenges through therapeutic horseback riding, donating his time to the Tulsa Fire Museum, and if that wasn't enough, he's actually even a mayor Sky took. I'm so proud of his service in all the ways. Thank you, Mayor Young, for your service. We also have Detective Aubrey Williams, a 6-year veteran of the Tulsa Police Department, currently serving in the Sexual Predator Investigation and Digital Evidence Recovery Unit. She has been an amazing asset to the department in volunteering her time with schools, churches, and law enforcement agencies, really all in an effort to make sure that Tulsa is the safest big city in the country. On behalf of our family here at the City of Tulsa and citizens all across our community, I want to congratulate Mayor Young and Detective Williams, this year's recipients of the Above and Beyond Award.
Thank you, Lori, and I would also like to welcome you all to these prestigious awards. It was a privilege to join Rotary last year and become a member of the Above and Beyond Committee. It is truly an honor to serve as a co-chair for you to this meaningful event. First and foremost, thank you, Rob Berry, for all you have done for this event for all of these years. It would not happen without you. And thank you to my co-chair, Tom. I appreciate you both for giving me this opportunity. George's passion for service was matched only by his humility. To him, Rotary was more than a club. It was a sanctuary of connection, purpose, and shared values. The George B. Hamilton Special Award, named in his honor, reflects this very essence of who he was. I recently asked his friend Jerry Emmons, George's closest friend and longtime colleague at the FBI's Tulsa office, what my dad would have thought about this award bearing his name. And Jerry said he would have probably played it down, but tell you one thing, he would have been awfully proud. And proud he would be. These awards recognize those who, like George, served selflessly, make a lasting impact, and often without recognition and always without expectation. It was George's deep commitment to this committee where he gave his time so generously and worked so tirelessly. Thank you for recommending that posthumously naming of this award in my father's honor. His career was primarily as a special agent for the FBI, and he worked closely with the Tulsa police. Representing the FBI on my father's behalf are FBI Oklahoma Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Joe Ogden, FBI Supervisory Special Agent in Tulsa, Josh Martin, and Supervisory Special Agent in Tulsa, Chris Johnson. Gentlemen, will you please stand? In 2018, the Above and Beyond Awards Committee launched a special award, posthumously, naming in honor of my father the George B. Hamilton Special Award. We are honored to have some of the previous recipients here today. Will you please stand so we can recognize you? A complete list is on the screens and listed in your program. This year, the Above and Beyond Committee elected to honor two groups of individuals who have gone above and beyond their job descriptions. Their innovative ideas help fellow public servants improve their jobs and outcomes who consistently strive to keep firefighters, officers, and the Tulsa community safe. Our first 2026 George B. Hamilton Special Award is to Stephanie Silva and Dee Watkins and Tulsa Fire Department's TFD CARES unit. CARES stands for Community Assistance, Referrals, and Education Services, which falls under the Emergency Medical Services branch. TFD CARES has transformed how our community's most vulnerable people assess help from proactively addressing social determinants of health. It focuses on high 911 utilizers and others who rely on emergency services. It pairs outreach, care coordination, and links to housing, mobility, behavioral health, chronic disease management, and social services. Last year, there was a 74% reduction in 911 usage and a 49% drop in emergency department visits, freeing emergency resources and improving quality for the life of Tulsans. Case managers Stephanie Silva and Dee Watkins have changed the way TFD CARES operates. They connect with vulnerable people on a personal level, walking alongside them until their goals are achieved, advocating for them in hospitals, nursing homes, and on the streets. Since this team started, TFD CARES has reduced the number of lift-assisted incidents by over 1,000 annually, helping reduce firefighter injuries by over 70%. They are impacting lives, reducing 911 use, and helping make Tulsa a safer and healthier city. President Carl, please join me on stage to present this award. Stephanie and Dee, please join us on stage to receive the 2026 George B. Hamilton Special Award.
Stephanie Silva, the Rotary Club of Tulsa is honored to present you, representing TDF CARES, an Above and Beyond Award pin and the George B. Hamilton Special Award plaque. Dee Watkins, the Rotary Club of Tulsa is honored to present you, representing TDF CARES, an Above and Beyond Award pin and the George B. Hamilton Special Award plaque. In your names is a $2,000 donation to the Tulsa Firefighters Benevolent Fund. Congratulations, Stephanie and Dee. You are welcome to say a few words.
We are truly honored to stand here today as part of the CARES team. But if we're being honest, this award isn't about us. It's about our community It's about the people we meet on their hardest days. It's about the person who calls 911 not because they want to, but because they don't know what else to do. The person who's fallen for the third time this week, the one who hasn't taken their medication because they can't afford it or they can't make it to the pharmacy. The one who just needs someone to listen to their story about how their grief and loss created walls of chaos that they cannot escape alone, walls that we would call a path house. CARES gives us a chance to slow down and humanize any situation, to look past the call and see the person, to ask, what's really going on here? And then stay long enough to actually do something about it. We were asked once what our secret is. We show up, and we will keep showing up every single time. We work alongside some of the best firefighters in the country, and they're the reason this program works. They don't just respond, they notice. They care and they take extra steps to connect people to us. We work with incredible community partners to ensure the best possible outcome for clients who have been lost inside of a broken system. This is how we fill the gap. This work isn't always easy. It can be frustrating and it can be heavy. And sometimes the wins are very small, but they matter because sometimes success looks like one less 911 call. Sometimes it looks like a safe home. Sometimes it's just someone feeling seen for the first time in a very long time. And sometimes it's just showing up. I share this award with my partner, with our department, and with every first responder who chooses compassion in the middle of chaos. Thank you for believing in this work, for trusting our lived experiences to change someone else's, and for recognizing that helping people does not always end when the call does. Thank you.
The next George B. Hamilton Special Award recipient is Captain Shane Toole, representing TFD's Real-Time Information Center. Captain Toole has served in the Tulsa Police Department in numerous capacities for almost 30 years. His experience includes processing crime scenes, internal affairs, public information, strategic intelligence, special response team, criminal intelligence, etc. Last year, he was named commander over a team of 18 in TPD's Real-Time Information Center. The purpose of RTIC is to maximize technologies and resources for efficient and effective public safety responses. It enables TFD officers and other city personnel to respond to events more efficiently, emphasizing community, citizen, and first responder safety. Fully operational since 2023, RTIC serves as a centralized intelligence hub, monitoring camera systems, license plate readers, body-worn and dash camera video, live 911 calls, and law enforcement databases to deliver immediate, actionable information during active incidents. Through license plate reader technology alone, RTIC has helped recover more than $4.5 million in stolen vehicles and contributed to the recovery of 245 firearms from those vehicles. In less than 3 years, it has documented more than 49,000 operational assists, and RTIC specialists have proactively initiated more than 1,400 incidents, identifying suspect vehicles, located wanted individuals, and detecting criminal activity before officers are dispatched. TPD's RTIC has become a national model. In 2024, the unit received the DICE Award for Collaboration from the National Real-Time Crime Center Association for mentoring agencies in building their own centers. Captain Toole, please join me on stage to receive the 2026 George B. Hamilton Special Award.
Captain Christopher Shane Toole. The Rotary Club of Tulsa is honored to present you, representing TPD's Real-Time Information Center, an Above and Beyond Award pin and the George B. Hamilton Special Award plaque. In your name is a $2,000 donation to the Tulsa Police Officers Memorial Fund. Congratulations, Captain Toole. Shane, you're welcome to say a few words. Thank you.
First of all, very humbling to be in front of this group and being asked to represent a group that had started 3 years ago before I was even asked to be the commander of that unit. So standing on the shoulders of work they have done is very humbling to me. They've asked me to be up here because I'm the eye candy of the unit, so thank you. So with that, the reason this works is because this has got a dedication from the top to the bottom. That top not only includes the chief of police and the chief of fire, but also includes the mayor's office, the city council, the district attorney's office, and our federal partners. That's how we are so successful and will continue to be successful. And it feels really nice whenever you reach out to a group that believes that the police department is their adversary. And I'll give you an example. When we had all the protests starting last year, I reached out to the organizer, and you can imagine that was very tenuous, because here's the police department contacting the organizer of a potential protest. I told her, I don't care what side you're on. I'm on your side. Your side is the First Amendment, and that's the side I'm on. We will be in the area watching to ensure your safety. And that's all we care about. And after the first and the second and the third protests, she started contacting us. We're planning a protest at this location. Are you guys going to be there? That's an example that you're doing the right thing and that you've invested properly. Additionally, over the last 5 years, crime across the United States has drastically dropped. The only change really in law enforcement is the investment in technology. We are not catching the bad guy after the 11th, 12th, or 13th time. We're catching them after the first or second because of the technologies that we have. We use them very responsibly. And lastly, I'll say about our technology is we have 107 cameras that we own that you've allowed us to purchase. We have close to 2,000 community cameras. So that shows with business partners, other partners like your HOAs and your POAs, the community wants us to have this technology. So we know that we're on the right track, and it's because of the leadership that the city has and the investments that they made in this technology. And I'll leave you with a couple of success stories to show you how well we're doing. In March of this year, 31st, TPD received a call from a female victim who advised that her boyfriend had a pistol, had strangled her, made threats of suicide, and pointed his gun at her pets while threatening to kill all of them. She advised dispatch that he had left the location in a red Pontiac. Noticing that this situation contained extreme risk factors for a very dangerous and violent domestic situation, the Arctic began researching to find the tag on the suspect's vehicle. Arctic was able to trace the address through open source data to locate the subject's parents to whom the vehicle was actually registered to. Arctic was then able to locate the tag, put it on a flock hot list after Gilcrease officers confirmed he was going to be probable cause arrested for the domestic strangulation. The tag was entered in this hot list at 9:50 p.m. At 10:13, a hit showed that the suspect was actually heading back towards her address. Arctic put the flock hit out over the radio. Based on Arctic's information, an officer was quickly able to locate the suspect's vehicle near the victim's residence. As the suspect was physically pulling into the victim's driveway, there were 2 officers waiting for him. All 3 of the officers were able to take him safely into custody, where he was booked into David L. Moss on the charges of domestic strangulation. And the last example I'll leave you with. On April 23rd, A caller was an employee for the Ardendale Overlook Apartments, stating that he had found a 5-year-old male running around without any adults. The caller advised the child appeared to be possibly autistic and will be waiting with him for officers to arrive in the main office. Before the call was even dispatched, Arctic found a possible match for the child on an at-risk map and found a recent report that gave additional information. Arctic noted the call and then, when officers were dispatched, sent the officers that information. It turned out it was the same child, who happened to be a nonverbal autistic child. Arctic was able to provide the child's address and the apartment number, so by the time officers even arrived on the call, they knew exactly where that child needed to go. That's the work that you all have invested in and the technologies for your communities, and I thank you for that. So thank you for this award. Okay, yes.
Thank you all so very much.
Okay, now it is time for the Above and Beyond Awards. Before I talk about those awards, you guys are going to see videos that we did with our 2 recipients. All I did was sit down and ask them questions. The person who worked all the magic, who edited them, who staged it, who made it look beautiful, is my photojournalist, Michael Blair, here in the center of the room. So please give Michael a big thank you. Like Shane, I'm just the eye candy. They do all the work behind the scenes. So, as mentioned, as you guys know, these awards recognize a firefighter and a police officer nominated by their peers for outstanding acts of character, commitment, and compassion, not just to their profession, which they have, but also to their community for going above and beyond what their job calls for. We started these awards in 2008, and since then, if you guys have been here, you know, we have heard these amazing stories of rescues and saving lives and first responders giving of their own time, their own personal resources. You're going to hear more of that today. Their personal sacrifices, how they help teach others, how they join together with other groups or individuals, and they make sure that this community has what they need. The first Above and Beyond award today is the Firefighter of the Year, which is named in honor of former Tulsa Fire Chief E. Stanley Hawkins. He served at the department for 37 years, 21 of those he was the chief. He was also a past president of this club, as well as a member of several other local organizations. His experience, leadership, and service to the community were exemplary and are being long remembered. So here to present our 2026 Firefighter of the Year Above and Beyond Award, please welcome Fire Chief Michael Baker.
Good afternoon, thank you. I know many of you come here for the banter between the police chief and the fire chief, and so that will not be happening. Fair game. No. What is amazing is I stood up here in 2008 with my co-recipient, Jennifer Mansell, so I always like to give her a little credit. She was an inspiration to all of us in tragic loss, but I love to remember her on this day every year. Secondly, it's often odd when your boss used to sit over here and now sits over there. Laurel. So, first off, a couple of things is I think you heard the passion in Stephanie and Dee's remarks about their work. I cannot tell you how important that is to the Tulsa Fire Department and the Tulsa community. It continues on a legacy that department has. Chief Lemery and the staff really work hard to continue to tackle the issues of homelessness, social isolation and vulnerability in our city. And just great work, ladies. I'm not sure where you went. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you from me as well. Congratulations. Christopher Shane and the Arctic team. So what you didn't hear today was that 7:30 this morning, I started my day in the Arctic. And so I think I left about 10:30. And what is happening as the conversation as Officer or Captain Toole said, there's a lot of work going on, a lot of support at the highest levels. And so today, this week, the Tulsa Fire Department and Police Department have been testing Drone as First Responder program piloted with police officers and firefighters out of the Arctic. So the information has now gone to, not to the helicopter air, but the air at the lower levels. This morning, I probably watched 4 to 5 flights that were occurring to identify mental health suspects, review fires that we had yesterday afternoon, what we have live video of. And to me and Chief Larson, I'm going to speak for you, that is partnership. And that is public safety in the city of Tulsa, and it's what I expected by Commissioner Roberts, Mayor Nichols, and you. So the hardest part of the Above and Beyond Awards is dealing with Tulsa firefighters who don't really want to submit anything for an Above and Beyond Award. And so every time that I get the email that it's that time of year again from Rob and I think the problem is that there's another problem too, is that Rob has become a militant jokester with the firefighter, and his number one question is, how are we going to get them? And so every year, I mean, you've been through that lovely exchange, and you're a great actor, sir. And so we have done some pretty nefarious things. It goes all the way back to Nick Swainston and some others. And some folks I thought Frankie was going to have a heart attack this year. I thought Chisholm Frazier was going to have a heart attack last year. And so anyway, but it is fun as a fun part of that. And it's not fun for you, I'm sorry. But Amanda was in on it. And so, but the thing is that I could be up here, we could have this luncheon every day, and we would never be able to stop honoring the folks that work for the Tulsa Fire Department and Tulsa Police Department. Everyone out there has the Frankie stories, Mike Ward stories, Bill Esmeyer, the crews, my story, other stories. Everybody's doing something. And so it is very important that it's very difficult to narrow it down, frankly. And congratulations, Aubrey. Did I get that right? Yeah. Okay. So your hard work is incredible. I've known folks in federal law enforcement, state law enforcement over my time who have lost officers to the work that you're doing, not just from a unit, but from this world and their career. Thank you so much for your work. So today, we want to talk about Patrick Frankie Young and his contributions. And, you know, we never really worked together. We've kind of just been around each other for the time, and you stay up there with a great crew at 19s and hang out there and protect the north side and Turley and take care of all the work up there. And I kind of knew this history, but I didn't know this history, right? And so when I got your nomination, I read it and I was like, golly, that's a lot. I don't know where you find the time to do this. I really don't. But the difference is that I'm really having some issues with you being the mayor, and I was hoping that you could give me some advice, and then that maybe we could do better in some contract negotiations and things like that with your expertise in municipal government. So, yeah. But again, so proud of you. You're an incredible example of a human being, and you're also a great example of a Tulsa firefighter, and I'm very proud of you. So at this time, we'll watch the video that Lori and her team so graciously put together.
Started volunteering my senior year in high school at a small department outside of Skytook, and after graduating, was able to get on volunteer at Skytook for a year, and then went to school, got my MP, and worked for another 4 years for Skytook before getting on Tulsa. I've said for years and years that there's been very few days that I've got up and dreaded going to work. It's just the service we get to do, the people we work with, you know, giving back to the community, but also just the camaraderie we have at the fire station. Those guys are a second family to me. Grew up in Skytook my whole life, been there since I was 3 months old, was adopted and been in Skytook ever since. Left the fire department there to come to Tulsa and felt like I was missing what was going on, being a part of the community. There was a full new election of council members, and I thought, you know, what better way to be involved in it is to jump right in the middle of it. And so I ran for city council, was elected into a 2-year term, served as vice mayor, was re-elected for a 4-year term, and served 2 years as vice mayor and 2 years as mayor. I see stuff on social media about random offerings and givings and how it affects people and just the surprise they get. So a few years back, I kind of had a calling in my heart to be like, I want to do something in my community, Skytook, to keep it there. Put on my social media about I was collecting a little bit of money that year for just some random Christmas blessings. I put in the first $100 and was overwhelmed with the amount of money that my friends came to me and said, hey, I want to contribute, I want to pitch in, I want to pitch in. I think that first year we raised like $1,400. I always tried to find somebody that was buying children's gifts or something like that. It's as much as a reaction to me as it is to them, I guess. Just the feeling that I get. And then it was also an outlet for people who didn't know how to give to something, that wanted to bless somebody that didn't know how. Very honored to be nominated by my peers. I feel like I work with 700 of the best people in the world, and for me to be nominated by this and selected amongst whoever was nominated was very humbling and honoring. We all have a servant's heart, that's why we got into this job, but things that we do outside the job, every day on the streets that people see, it also represents not the person you are, but also our job.
What you got, right?
Firefighter Young, please join us on the stage to receive your award. Firefighter Patrick Frankie Young, the Rotary Club of Tulsa is honored to present you with a $4,000 check for your designated charity, the American Therapeutic Riding Center, and a $3,500 check for the Little Lighthouse. Also, I want to present you with an approved ribbon for your uniform, an Above and Beyond pin, and a voucher for an overnight stay at the Mayo Hotel and Dinner for Two in its restaurant 1925. Finally, please accept this trophy naming you as the 2026 E. Stanley Hawkins Firefighter of the Year Above and Beyond Award recipient. Firefighter Young, you're welcome to say a few words. Thank you.
Good afternoon and thank you. Recap a little bit of what was in the video of a few things I have to say, but I'm truly honored to stand here before you today and be recognized by the Rotary Club as Firefighter of the Year. To be chosen for an award like this by an organization that does so much in our community means more than I can actually put into words. Rotary Club has a long-standing reputation for service above self, and that's something that resonates in me deeply. Not just in my career, but in my life outside the fire department as well. The impact you all have both locally and around the world does not go unnoticed, and I'm incredibly grateful to be recognized by such a respectful group. I also want to thank those who nominated me. To be thought of and considered by my peers and friends is very humbling.
We work alongside some of the most truly dedicated men and women every day, and I know I'm just standing here representing a much larger group of people who are just deserving of this recognition. Several of those among us today are past recipients of this very award and other awards that are just as honorable. I knew pretty early growing up that firefighter is what I was going to do in my life. I was around emergency services through some family and was pretty routinely around fire trucks and ambulances growing up. Once in high school, I started volunteering at a neighboring community and began taking classes concurrently at OSU, FST, and TCC. Not long out of high school, I was given the opportunity to become a professional firefighter at Skiatook Fire Department. Giving back to my hometown was something I was proud of, but knew my further-looking career path was to be at Tulsa Fire Department. In July of 2004, I started the Fire Academy, and those past almost 22 years have flown by in the blink of an eye. I began my TFD career at Station 24 on the back of Engine 2-4. I had an amazing, aggressive crew who set me up for success with very high job expectations and was given more fire and life knowledge in those first few years than I ever imagined. Now today, after moving around the district a little bit, I've landed back at Station 24, on the ladder this time, now partly responsible to give that same fire and life lessons to the younger generation that has come on after me. None of this would be possible in my life without the support system that I have. My son Elijah, you saw in the video, who is in school, school today, getting those last few days of summer break, is my very existence of being. Elijah was delivered to my family through God, through adoption 8 years ago. His mother and I recognized pretty early that Elijah was on the autism spectrum. Although Elijah is nonverbal, he most definitely has his own way of communicating, letting you know what he needs, and he teaches me so much every day. His ongoing speech and occupational therapies keep me on the move, but have also brought so much to my life, including getting to be a part of an amazing tribe of people who love him so much. I will always advocate for those who can't speak up for themselves, and I will be his voice until he chooses to do so on his own. I want to take a moment to recognize a few very important people that are with me today. First, my fiance, Amanda. Having her by my side is an absolute honor. She understands firsthand the dedication this job requires and the stresses that can come with it. As a prior recipient of the George B. Hamilton Award herself, she knows and understands wholeheartedly what it entails to have a servant's heart, both at work and in her personal life. The support she gives me both in my career and in my life means more than I can fully express. What she does professionally and in my life are incredibly important to me. I'm grateful for her every day. I also want to recognize my best friend and lieutenant of our crew at Ladder 2-4, Chris Payne. Chris and his wife Tammy, here with him today, have been by my side for almost 30 years. Chris and I have been assigned together at the Tulsa Fire Department for the past 8 years and spend about as much time outside of the fire station together as we do there. There's not an aspect of my life that he hasn't known about or most likely been a part of. I routinely joke about my best friend being 10 years and a month older than me, but the truth is, the way he lives his life, how he treats people, and how he takes care of his family is something I've looked up to and tried to model in my own life for a very long time. Also with me today are my godparents, Terry and Wendy Whittle. I loosely say I moved into their neighborhood about 16 years ago, but what really happened was they took me and my family in as one of their own. They've been there for birthdays, holidays, good days, and a lot of not good days. Having lost both my parents at an early age, the Whittles have been my go-to call on several occasions. For life advice, morning coffee catch-ups, helping watch Elijah, which he loves because he gets away with anything, or many times just to be added to Wendy's prayer group, they're always just a call away. To my son, they're Mimo and Peepaw. To me, they're more than they'll ever know. I've been very fortunate to have an active role in my hometown, Skiatook. After leaving the fire department there in 2004, I knew I still had a calling to not only witnessing, but being a part of seeing Skiatook grow and thrive. It's been my home since I was 3 months old, and I pretty regularly tell people I'll be a Tooker for life. My role there as mayor is something I don't take lightly. I love watching Skiatook grow, and I want to make it a place for others to call home, as I did 45 years ago, and I still do today. At the end of this day, I'll look at this award and see my name on it, but it represents so much more. My fellow firefighters, this amazing department I work for, my family, and a couple different communities that I'm so proud to serve. Thank you again to the Rotary Club for this incredible honor. It's something I will carry with me for the rest of my life.
Told you we picked some good ones, didn't I? Well, now here to present the 2026 award for Above and Beyond for our Police Officer of the Year, please welcome Police Chief Dennis Larson.
Well, before I get into my brief comments, I'd like to say I've been around just a little while. As witnessed the hash marks on my arm. And there's not a lot that shocks me, and there's not a lot that I can't say that I've seen before. But I have to say that I kind of was sat back in my seat when I heard the words Captain Toole and eye candy in the same sentence. So, that is hard to follow. But we're here today to honor a member of the Tulsa Police Department, Aubrey Williams. And before I get into my scripted comments, I'd like to tell you how I met Aubrey. The chiefs flow through, or from our parking area into the police department, pretty much the same way each day, and it goes through one of our detective units. And I kept walking through, and I noticed a new and a fresh face in that unit. It wasn't one of the older seasoned detectives, always smiling, always saying, "Good morning, Chief." And I finally went up to Chief Daglish and I said, "Who's down in Sabre?" I'm sure I shook her hands before when she came across the stage. And I described Aubrey to him. She goes, "Oh, that's Aubrey. She was in a pretty bad car wreck. She's recovering from a TBI. And so the next time I went through, I stopped, and I think Aubrey probably remembers the day next to her desk, and I introduced myself, and I said, "Tell me about you." And then she went on about what she'd done on the police department, and the fact that she had an advanced degree in microbiology. And by the end of the time she described to me who Aubrey was, I was sitting there kind of like, why aren't you working at NASA? You know, I mean, it was just an incredible story of great accomplishments, and she'd been on her department 3 or 4 years. And we talked about where, her passion for police work, her passion for helping victims. And what was incredible was, sometimes God aligns things that doors open when other doors close. And when the position came open in Spider, it was a perfect fit. And when Doug Farrell, who I think is in the room, he's our head of our Secret Service over here, who is one of our great federal partners, interviewed Aubrey to become a dog handler and get a Secret Service dog, you could not have picked a better person. And so today, I stand here, and it's an honor to be here on behalf of our department. I want to thank the Rotary Club for their continued commitment to service and to taking the time each year to recognize the excellence in our department. And again, as I said today, we're here to present the Above and Beyond Award to Detective Aubrey Williams, who I can say without hesitation is well deserving of this recognition. For the past 2.5 years, Aubrey has served in our Tulsa Police Sexual Predator Investigation and Digital Evidence. That's a mouthful. That's why we call it SPIDER. In that role, she's taken on some of the most difficult and emotionally charged, demanding work in our profession. She investigates individuals who exploit children. Cases that require not only advanced technical expertise, but an extraordinary level of resilience and unwavering dedication. This is not easy work. This is not work that very many of us could do. But Detective Aubrey Williams does it with compassion, determination, and a deep sense of commitment and purpose. And as if that wasn't enough, in March of 25, she stepped forward volunteering for an additional responsibility, interviewed with Special Agent for Secret Service, Doug Farrell, was chosen to go to the Hoover, Alabama facility of the Secret Service. And that's where she met and she trained with K-9 Ripley. And you just have to watch them work together to instantly see the bond that is formed, and they have become a formidable team. This is a highly specialized role that demands extensive training, a significant investment of time every day, and you do that balancing a heavy caseload in the Spider unit. Together, they are a force multiplier for our police department. They not only work with our officers, but their federal partners and other local agencies. But what truly sets Aubrey apart is her commitment beyond the investigations. She understands that protecting our community is not just in enforcement actions, but in the prevention and, most importantly, the education of our citizens. Becoming a K-9 handler, she and Ripley have conducted over 50 presentations to date, churches, law enforcement agencies, and community organizations. And through those efforts, she's educated families about online safety, digital awareness, and the very real dangers in today's digital world. She empowers parents, informs children, and builds trust to our community. Detective Williams represents the highest standards of public service. She balances an intensive investigative caseload while actively engaging in our community, strengthening partnerships, and making Tulsa safer every day. And before I close, I want to recognize the fact that her mom, a lifelong Rotarian, and father and sister have driven up here from the great state of Texas to join us today and are sitting at the table with Aubrey. So with that, Detective Williams, your dedication, compassion, your relentless pursuit of justice has not gone unnoticed. And on behalf of all of us in this room, we thank you for going above and beyond. Congratulations. Oh. And I obviously don't, everybody have a seat. I obviously don't have my wife's knack for following a script or Lori's. But we have a video that our photojournalist has prepared, so I could direct your attention to the screens.
I had a mentor at OSU, and he said, I really think that what I want to do is get into like the genetic genealogy side of things and kind of work that side of investigations. And he said, okay. He said, well, are you thinking state, local, fed? And I said, I think I want to go federal. And he said, well, I think you need to do some ride-alongs. So I did a ride-along with TPD, and I was sold. When I first came to the unit, I had a supervisor who told me, he said, people are going to ask you all the time, how do you do what you do? And his response was, how do you know that this is out there and not do something about it? You mean the sweet girl? Ripley is the Tulsa Police Department's first electronic storage detection canine. Ripley is trained to sniff out an odor called triphenylphosphine oxide. It's a chemical that they use in the manufacture of electronic devices that store data specifically. You can find anything as small as like a micro SD card, all the way up to laptops, cell phones. We've been called out to find like air tags. But when we go to these search warrants, they make thumb drives and SD cards and all of these things that are hidden or look like other things, that look like a pencil or, you know, a keychain. Yep, we had a case last year where someone was manufacturing a significant amount of CSAM. They were using charging blocks in their bathroom to record people unaware, and Ripley we were able to use an ESD for that case. So, in 1 week I might look at 90,000 files, the next week I might look at 600,000 files. To have her in the office has been huge, huge help. When I talk to parents and teachers, I always tell them, when it comes to technology, the kids are way out here, and then the predators are about here, investigators here, and then my parents are generally lagging way back here. The more that we can get out there and just have those conversations with parents and encourage them to have those conversations at home makes my job on the other end a whole lot easier. My mom always told us that to whom much is given, much is expected. And I feel like we were given so much, and you have to do something with it. These are the most vulnerable members of our community. We're talking anyone from a baby who's hours old all the way up to 12. These are kids who you can't expect them to make good decisions. Their brains aren't formed yet. So I just want them to be able to grow up and feel safe, have a good childhood, and not have trauma that they take into their lives, and kind of we see the repercussions of that later on. We don't do this because we want accolades or pats on the back. We do this because we love the work that we do, and we want to be the best at what we do.
Detective Williams and her canine partner, Ripley.
Detective Aubrey Williams, the Rotary Club of Tulsa is honored to present you with a $3,750 donation to your designated charity, Hope Center, Indy's Canine Training Program, and a $3,750 check for Tulsa's Child Advocacy Network. Also, an approved ribbon for your uniform, an above and beyond pin, a voucher for an overnight stay at the historic Mayo Hotel, and dinner for two in its restaurant 1925, plus this trophy naming you as the recipient of the Above and Beyond Award for 2026. Audrey, you're welcome to say a few words if you would.
Oh, this is overwhelming. I don't know if it's public, but when they told me that I had won this award, I definitely started crying in the chief's office. So, but I just wanted to say thank you to the Rotary Club of Tulsa. Thank you so much for the privilege of being here with all of you today. Receiving this award has just been an absolute unexpected and incredible honor. Like I said, we don't do this because we're looking for a pat on the back or accolades or anything like that. We're really in it for the love of the game. Ripley and I are thrilled that so many of our friends and family are with us today. So I'm going to get those thank yous out of the way. Ben, thank you for, sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. Thank you for being my unwavering support through these investigations and all the hard days. I just want to say thank you to my mom and my dad and my sister for showing up for every challenge and every victory. Laura and Jim, thank you guys so much for being there. I can't believe this is. To Mark, Eric, Justin, and Sam, my team with Spider, thank you for tolerating your favorite problem child. This wouldn't be possible without you. In the past 2 years, we've had close to 100 live child rescues here in the state of Oklahoma, where we have identified children who are actively being, coerced, enticed, or exploited online. And day in and day out, I could not do it without my team. To the Tulsa Police Department, Chief Larson, the U.S. Attorney's Office, and then the United States Secret Service, we do want to say thank you so much for your support in all of our efforts to fight child exploitation at every turn. Ashley, thank you for taking all of the phone calls and putting up with all of the problems that we stir up for your office, so thank you. You know, like I said in the video, when I first came into this unit, Lieutenant Showman was my supervisor, and he told me, you know, people are gonna ask you, how do you do it? How do you watch that stuff? You know, I can't imagine doing the things that you do. And his response to that and what he told me, you know, really kind of shut down those questions pretty quickly, was, I don't know how to know that this evil is out here and do nothing about it. And those words have really resonated with me ever since. I'll also say Lieutenant, now Captain Showman, is the same person who told me when I thought that I wanted to get an electronic storage detection canine, that we had made attempts to do so before, and good luck. So, you know, he's been there since day one for us. But being given the opportunity to impact the lives of the most vulnerable members of our community has been by far the most rewarding part of my career. It's, you know, going to work every day. We love what we do. We can't stop. We are a small but mighty part of the police department, but I feel like we are incredibly effective. And then also to go out and be given the opportunity to do so much education and talk to parents and bring awareness to the fact that we need to be having these conversations regularly, openly, and honestly, and supportively. You know, we are here not just for the interdiction side, but I think that prevention is the #1 tool in our belt. Additionally, being selected as an electronic storage detection canine handler and being partnered with Ripley was literally my dream come true. Seeing the impact that she's made in both investigations, community support, and victim support, it brings me joy every day. And, you know, she really is a multiplier for the unit and really, really has helped us be more successul. Both us, our federal partners, our local partners, our state partners, and then other members of the police department. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Sorry for crying. I'm a crier.
Congratulations again to both of our recipients today. I would remind our recipients and our chiefs, if you will stay afterward to come up so we can get all the appropriate pictures with the checks and the awards and all of that as well. And we're going to turn it back over to the president before we say goodbye, but we just want to say thank you again to all of our distinguished visitors, everyone, for taking time out of your day to be here for this special day. So, all right, come on, wrap us up.
Aubrey, I failed to mention one thing. We have something we've never done before. We've got a dog tag for Canine Ripley, an Above and Beyond Awards Canine Dog Tag. Now, as to Lori Fulbright. My goodness, doesn't she do a great job? Thanks to KOTV News on 6 for producing the videos. Lori, we have a gift for you. Margaret said you can forget anything else, Carl, but do not forget Lori's gift. Thank you for your service these past 13 years, the Above and Beyond Awards. We want to recognize two special people who have helped the Above and Beyond Awards Committee this year. The Tulsa Fire Assistant to Chief Baker, Patty Wernhardt, and the Assistant to Chief Larson, Chloe Williams. Patty and Chloe, would you please stand so we can recognize you? also want to thank Rotarian Brooke Hamilton and Nameplates Inc. for producing and donating the large display checks for the nonprofit organizations and the centerpieces on your tables. We also want to thank former Rotarian and hopefully soon new member of our Rotary Club, Casey King. He's the general manager of the historic Mayo Hotel. He contributed the vouchers and the gift certificates for dinners for our awards recipients. Thank you to Casey and the Mayo. Thank you all for being here today to celebrate this ceremony. I am honored to serve the club and its members who so generously give their time to make this event possible. I'll note something else. Today,